Hello everyone, my name is Leo, and my concept to bring to this building 4 companies and all companies about healthy style. One company is about vitamins, natural. The second one about clothing, fashion, and another one wellness company, and the last one is about ergonomic chairs. All together, it's about health. So now my name of this project Health Academy, and the way I want to present the designing language through 3 things. One is golden ratio, the second one is biomimicry, and the third one is human body proportions. So, as we have, I took the ground floor, and as it's high, about 6 meter high, I don't want to put any walls there. I just want to hold the space to be visible, just to make some kind of dividers. Through displays, shelving, just to divide the space, like an airport, to be visible from any location. You can see other shops. So I got a lot of sketches. So I'm using AI. This is my sketch, and I'm visualizing through AI tools. Like this is one kind of divider, just to be like partitions, dividers. So I would like to have some sitting areas. Then my design language, I started to do many sketches about ceramic, and I've been in our workshop and I made some pots, but one day I just checked my sketches and realized that I can use, like, this can be for the building and shelving. And I took this pattern to use outside building for the structure. This my sketch for the fashion design section for the fashion design shop, and just made based on my AI my sketches, and I made few visuals to arrange the space on a fashion shop. So I would like to bring them displays for the vitamins and stuff, just using structure, golden section, proportion, ratio, and biomimicry style. This is about anthropometry, to use to make a display from kind of lines, anthropometry lines of human body. As I said before, I don't want to make high walls, just to divide the space with different partitions, sitting areas, displays. Also on the floor, I would like to make a floor with different type of wood and different materials, just to guide them as well through the space. Different headings, I'm not sure how to, just personal sittings. This is ideas about the lighting. That one about my stairs. Yes, as I want to make puffs on the floor and on the ceiling as well, just to have signs and maybe kind of structures to guide people through the space. This is the variation of the displays, partitions. Tables to be without straight angles, just flowing forms, and this display for vitamin shop. Also, I would like to make this in material from ceramic and wooden frame. It's for the wall in a vitamin shop. In the basement, I'll have wellness club, swimming pools, and I had an idea just to have glass on the ground floor, so people sitting in the depth and see through the glass, just to inviting people to the basement. Here, variation of shelvings. Those doors will be on entrance, on night entrance. I've got visual here, so this is my project, and those doors. So the last visuals, those three. I would like to use different kind of materials like timber, ceramic, stone, and galvanized frames, and glass as well. So this is outside structure. I got it on my visual here. So it's like this structure represent like very I'm sorry. It's like from noisy town, people coming inside for this structure and they become more quiet, more healthy, and I've got inside in the middle of all my shops, cafe zone. This is my visual and variation of yeah. This is one day people coming from noisy street to relax, to have energy. Inside this building, my sketches. That's it. Thank you.
Right, okay. Again, a bit of a different tempo to this presentation, and I like that actually you jumped straight in and were like, it's a health academy, it's inspired by biomimicry, golden ratio, and anthropometrics. And then we get into this world where I think, again, is there a possibility, and maybe you can all answer this, that because the space is so large, there's a feeling that we need to grab onto lots and lots of ideas. And I think what I would say with you is that whilst there's definitely a cohesion between everything we're seeing, I'm almost still missing, when I look at that, I'm not quite sure what the concept is. But I don't think, it's almost like what I want you to do is, you've obviously got really into this, you know, I know you understand what biomimicry is, but I almost think you need to funnel it down a bit and actually be more specific about what is a relevant, like, organic matter or something that you want to study at a cellular level and bring to life. So it's one thing, so that we don't get, and forgive me, this is subjective, but I feel like we're seeing a lot of this now. And that if you say, it's almost like biomimicry is becoming a bit of a buzzword. But actually, the reality is, as interior designers, we can do a huge amount to impact somebody's health in design. And I've told you all lots of times that one of the projects I was most passionate about was working on a dementia care centre, where actually a really clever use of colour, pattern, texture is vital to making someone feel better. Now, separate to all of this work, when you discussed your project before, you have a very strong reason why you want this to be a health academy, don't you? Your own personal story. And I think at this stage, where essentially the issue you have is so many ideas, a bit like Nisha, that you guys have got lots of many ideas. I think, you know, sometimes it's okay to pull that down to one thing and just really nerd out on that one thing and take one idea. It could be a specific leaf or a specific tree that is somehow related to your story or Oxford Street or your demographic, and really just focusing on that to create your space, so that we don't just end up getting this kind of Swiss cheesy tree canopy style design. So I've kind of written here, like, for next steps, what would I do? I would write a clear set of rules and intentions, maybe find that one thing, because part of this conceptual design is about storytelling, and then you will give that story to whoever comes in and takes that story over, so that they, you know, so in the art books and the design books, it talks about what was that point of inspiration. And I think it needs to be a bit more than just biomimicry or the golden ratio. Golden ratio is in a lot of designs, isn't it? Because it makes them but the biomimicry is one system. So maybe try and focus in on that. So yeah, I put here like biomimicry of what? Like what is the system? Like talk to us a little bit about that. And now really dive into, like, again, bring in that theory. So there's colour theory. If you want people to come into the space and leave the busy surrounding outside London and genuinely come out feeling like better people, what else can you do? So you talked when you introduced your materials about timber, ceramic and stone. But again, really drill into those so that you're really proving to me that you're the expert in this and that you are going to bring to life this idea that's very important to you. It really will make a difference, and it's more than just what we're kind of used to seeing when we get told about sustainable and like biophilic materials. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think what my suggestion would be is we talked a lot about each space, each of your brands individually and how you see them working and individual elements, but what I suggest doing is literally on the plan, make zooming and see how they work together, because all these things individually they are amazing, but when you put them next to each other, how do they work in relationship to each other? How will your users be guided through the space? Because you talked about signage and materials, but it's very hard to grasp that correlation and how would someone feel and be guided into the space. When you talk about your entryway, for example, or when you could give your render or those dividers, it's very hard to grasp as someone who just sees your presentation. Where is that? What is that exactly? Is that for a brand? Is that a common area? Is that a transitional space? So maybe just go down to detail. What are the details of each brand? And then how do they work with each other? So when you make your space planning and so on, you have a clear visual representation rather than just vague ideas.
Thank you.
I think it had pretty much all the elements I was expecting to see, but not necessarily in the right order. As an audience, I was expecting you to take me on a journey, starting with a brief, and then give why. There's a story, why? Tell me why. Why is this another centre? Not necessarily everyone in London needs it, maybe there's some demographics around it, maybe there's a personal story, maybe there's something else, but I want to see more around why. And then, again, back to the scary building, cool in the basement, maybe draw that forward and actually, assuming this is based on this site, because that's the other thing I've got written down, what you draw on a far more suited new build rather than historic building in the centre of what is Regent Street and Oxford Street. So that why, the high level division of the building, how your individual elements relate to that, which goes back to what you were saying about transition zones, the zones of the building. Are there quieter zones people go back to, the cool down the cafe maybe, and how to all hang together within the building. So about structure, and I'm assuming cost is no budget. The budget is not yes, wait until this is value engineering, all the hard work out of it. Exactly. So, I feel everything is there. Not necessarily the right order, a big question from the why.
But you know that, you know where it is, and I think what we need to do is now match that why to the demographic as well, make sure that why is important to everyone else, and remember that for all of you this is about retail of the future, so that's what I put here, healthcare around why is this so important for retail of the future, how do we think people are going to feel in the 2035 world, why are they going to need this
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well done.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I think, yeah. It's okay. I have actually recently sat on with you and sort of given some feedback there, but I just wanted to sort of recognize the sort of sheer volume of sort of sketching and 3D explorations and ceramics that you haven't shown here today. When you present your project, just remember that you've spoken to me and perhaps Sarah, but no one else may know. So tell us about the site history. What are you bringing to the future? What research have you done? Why have you, the personal story that Sarah mentioned as well? Mention that. Why have you chosen a health academy? I think for you as well, we've spoken about before, you need to kind of which you're working towards now is identify your sort of hero geometry. We've explored like several great ideas, but the golden ratio, biomorphic, cellular, but all of these are strong, but using them together may create some confusion. So I think the facade cellular structure is good. Remember your materiality is important here because that brutalist aesthetic can be quite harsh as well. So the pattern is quite good. And then you're speaking of the space having. I think what Tom is saying is correct. You've got a lot of bones here, but presenting them in the correct order. So you tell us a story is what leads us to your big idea. I think the pages are a little bit mixed. Speaking about space being linear, give us some examples, give us some precedents. Some of the pasted images I saw, text was being covered, so they look like it's just a screenshot that you've sort of put into these pages, so it's organized a little bit better so that we can see clearly. I think I mentioned before about the site content, what part of history have you researched there? Speak through it. Speak through that history with us and let us know why you've chosen your concept and then within your own health issues. But in general, I think you're a good start.
Thank you. Thank you.
right, how are we going to get you up here? You managed to...
Can I send it?
Yeah. Did you try your laptop?
Yeah.
Should we try one more time? Just because I'm using my laptop, but if it doesn't work, I can